Well, the winner of this game will join Cleveland as the only unbeaten team in the AFC after 2 weeks. And back we come after this message from the NFL and a word from our ABC station.
ABC's Monday Night Football. The Denver Broncos versus the Buffalo Bills. Brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Second half beginning. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Dierdorf. Monday Night Football, Orchard Park, New York, home of the Bills, who trail 18-0. And Denver will get the ball to start in the second half. Scott Norwood puts it in the air. The third quarter is underway. And to the near side, this is Bobby Humphrey, the Alabama rookie, out past the 30 and all the way out to the 39-yard line. As the Broncos take over at that spot, Denver last week a winner over Kansas City 34-20, and Miami had an 11-point lead against Buffalo as the Bills then came from behind to pull off a miracle win, and they'll need a similar type of victory tonight, down by 18. Elway and the Broncos at the 39-yard line. Alexander is the sole setback. Johnson in motion. And Elway's first pass is a one-hop incomplete pass intended for Mark Jackson at midfield. 2nd and 10.
Must have been crazy glue on the ball or something. That's a very un-Elway-like throw. Jackson was open. Made his break cleanly to the inside. John just overthrew the ball down in the turf a good 4 or 5 yards in front of Jackson. That's a pass that looks every bit like the first pass of the second half. A rusty and a cold arm.
And that's pretty much the way he began the game. 1 for his first 6 with an interception. And again, a bounce pass intended for Mark Jackson. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
That's got John talking to himself a little bit. He takes a nice little 10-yard stroll back behind the huddle.
He opened the first half that way with a couple of throws that he overthrew. Now he opens underthrowing.
Now, granted, Buffalo that time came with a blitz and put a little more pressure on him, but that's what Buffalo's going to have to do. Down 18-0. They're going to have to take a few chances defensively. They're going to have to rattle the cage of the Broncos to try to get back in it.
3rd and 10. Elway is 10 for 22 for 146 yards. And 3rd and 10. The deep drop and a lot of time, and then he rifles one to the 40 of Buffalo. The catch is made by Michael Young, Plan B free agent. There's another flag for a late hit. Young, a reserve with the Rams, not protected by L.A., signs with Denver and comes in 3rd down situations, especially tonight in the absence of Patil.
Number 21 defense, and force from the end of the run. 1st down.
Wayne Davis.
A brilliant job of pass protecting by the Bronco offensive line. Lanier, Jariga, Karts, Bishop, and Perry. That time just negated any pass rush, any pressure at all by the Bill defensive line. And Elway with that time finds Michael Young. This is a pattern that takes some seconds. A crossing pattern underneath the zone. And boy, when Elway has that time, you might as well just chalk that up in the C column. Completion.
1st and 10 from the 30 on the delay. Not much there for Humphrey. He turns it into about a 3-yard pickup. 2nd and 7. Bruce Smith, who could have been a Bronco. You'll recall Denver offered Smith $7.5 million for 5 years, and then Buffalo had to match it, and they did.
You can see they're getting a double team job now on Bruce Smith. They quite aware that he was just about the only disruptive Bills defensive man in the first half.
And he still fought back in and made the tackle. Cornelius Bennett having a strong first half as well, but still, when Denver's had to make a play, they have. And Elway, some sort of a problem. You would assume that that's a problem with his own offensive team rather than something he saw on the Buffalo side of things. He'll go talk it over with that guy, Dan Reeves, and see if they can add to their lead.
Take on their division rivals, the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, my rowdy friends are here on Monday night.
Next week on ABC Sports.
Rich Stadium in Orchard Park. And remember, the Bills did not lose a game here all of last season. But this is a new year, and they're down 18-0, and Denver is marching with the second half kickoff, and they have it 2nd down and 7 at the Buffalo 27-yard line. And a reverse to Jackson, and a flea flicker and a fumble, but it's picked up by Clarence Kay, and he's dragged down by Fred Smerla. So what could have been a huge break for Buffalo, exactly what they needed, still winds up in Denver's possession.
And Denver is getting every positive bounce of the ball tonight.
That could have been a big turnover for the Bills. They were in the backfield. They were in the exchange between the reverse man and Elway. Here comes on the inside is Bruce Smith. Elway, this takes a long time to develop. Here comes Smith.
Well, what I don't understand about it, the ball always stays in the middle of the field. I don't know where they think the Buffalo defense was going to go. They're always going to be right around the ball. That was not a very pretty play.
3rd and 14, and not a very pretty snap, but Elway goes up to get it, and down he goes at the 49-yard line. Wayne Davis just signed by Buffalo, and Derek Burrows.
Derek Burrows was the guy that ends up being in there. He comes right off the corner, and of course, talk about taking some chances and putting a little pressure when you've got defensive backs running around the backfield chasing the quarterback.
Dan, this is kind of what you expect from the Bills defense. Again, the #1 defense in the AFC, and all of a sudden they put a little spark to it. Now, Elway was lucky he controlled this ball. Could have been a fumble right on the spot. Here comes Davis, and there is Burrows.
Yep, Derek Burrows, Wayne Davis, a double corner blitz. And don't see that often.
Broncos out of field goal range. Haran the punt. And the left-footed kicker tries to angle it to the near side, and the fair catch is made by Tucker inside his 10. 40-yard boot. Buffalo will have it for the first time in the second half. 12:08 to go in the third. 18-0 for Broncos. The Buffalo Bills, and you can see where they have started each of their possessions. Deep in their own territory.
I have to look at that first one, though. The result, downs. That's where they went on 4th and short and didn't make it. And looking back on it, has that not really set the tone for the whole night?
Sure has.
You wonder if things would have been different if they'd have punted the ball away and pinned Denver deep in their own territory.
They start from the 9 on 1st down. And there's nothing cooking in the middle for Thurman Thomas, and he is stopped there by Alfonso Carricker.
That one, Kelly changed at the line of scrimmage. He'd like to change it again.
Maybe he had a play call that was going to lose 5 yards.
Get into that kind of mode, you're in the wrong field.
Marv Levy in a state of disbelief, I'm sure. Home opener, 80,000 people expecting big things. Undefeated here all of last season and laying a colossal egg tonight.
2nd and 12. Kelly fires. The catch is made by Andre Reed. Takes it out to the 19-yard line, and that should be enough for a first down. Depending on the spot here. It's going to be very close. Very close. And it is enough.
Kelly, as we said last week, pulled together the Bills in the 4th quarter, and because of an interception late in the game, with less than 4 minutes remaining, Nate Odoms picked it off, and then Kelly took the Bills in, and on the last play of the game, beat the Miami Dolphins by scampering in from the 2-yard line.
From the 19-yard line, Kelly, and again, the catch is made by Reed, and Reed is out of bounds up near the 28-yard line. Dennis Smith running him out of bounds. So Reed shaken up here. That's his 8th catch to go with 6 last week. Already 14 receptions this year.
And he's dangling his left arm like either a shoulder or a pinched nerve or something. Frank, we know that feeling when you get that little burner, the way you drop your arm like that. And a look at Andre Reed as he goes out of bounds. Oh, there's the hit right on top of the shoulder. Boy, you can see that left arm immediately go limp. Took a blow right on the top of the shoulder pad.
Just like you take a jolt of electricity.
Flip Johnson replaces him. It's second down and a short 2. And Thomas gets across the 30 for the first down. With 10:40 to play, third quarter, 18-0 Denver.
Well, there's Reed. He's coming back. He'll go back onto the field, but he got that little elbow right on the point of the shoulder, and it tingles right down to the toes for just a matter of seconds. You have to make sure, first of all, that you haven't hurt something seriously.
And this is the right way for Buffalo to go about it. I mean, just one first down at a time. They were in horrible field position, back against their own goal line, and just take it one first down at a time. 18 points is hardly insurmountable. To get greedy, though, would be dangerous.
On 1st and 10, the catch is made by Johnson, and he pays the price. Rick Dennison makes the tackle, number 55, after a short pickup.
And how about the nice job of the umpire getting out of the way? Dennis Riggs, our umpire tonight, he's going to hit the turf to get out of the way of that pass. Embarrassing for an official to either get hit by a running back or by a pass. He sees the ball over the middle and he fights it.
Second and 7. Kelly stepping up. And out of bounds at the 42-yard line and a first down.
Kelly saw that first down marker, put the head down, no hook slide there. He gets the first down, and a little bit of a spark in the Buffalo Bills offense, even though it's a broken play. And as you see, he had time to deliver the pass. The receiver covered downfield. He looks over to the sidelines, picks up that first down marker, and goes for it.
And picks up a block from Larry Kinnebrew. It was really Kinnebrew screening it off that allowed Kelly to get enough yardage to move the sticks. And this has been a good drive so far.
Reed back in the game. That's Reed, top of the screen, split left. 1st and 10, Buffalo from the 41-yard line. This drive commenced at the 9. And not looking was Burkett, and thus it is picked off by Braxton, who ran one all the way back last week for a score against Kansas City. He's tackled by Kinnebrew. And Burkett, the intended receiver, never even turned around.
And Jim Kelly headed right for Burkett and thought twice about it, and showed some maturity and pulled up and headed for the sidelines. Kelly expecting Burkett to run some sort of a turn back route, either a button hook and stop or a coming back to him, and Al's description of it is perfect. Watch Burkett. He will not even turn around.
Had to be a hook.
He's acting like it's a running play. Burkett thinks it's a running play. Jim Kelly calls an audible. Burkett's running down there like he's going to block Braxton, puts out his arms, and isn't even aware of the fact that it's a pass.
And that goes with the first half for Buffalo.
Oh, boy, what a blow by Chris Burkett.
Alexander takes it to the 21-yard line.
You never really know whether Burkett just did not hear the audible, whether it was a change, or whether Kelly had planned on Burkett pulling up at about the 5-yard line.
Now he's up there trying to talk to Burkett. Well, Burkett won't talk to him. He's saying, come on, let's work this out. We got a lot of football left to play.
Obviously, a mix up between Kelly and Burkett.
Well, there was no doubt, by the way, Burkett pursued Braxton, that he was under the impression it was a running play.
2nd and 6 from the 21-yard line. Humphrey to the 14-yard line. Darryl Talley making the stop with 8:30 to play in the third quarter.
Meanwhile, when we talk about Burkett and Kelly, their problems, the Broncos come right back with a very much alive offensive unit out there. They are going up against, again, the #1 defensive team in the AFC from a year ago, a team ranked up there very high against the rush, and the Broncos have been able to do pretty much what they wanted to do tonight.
I can't give enough credit to the front wall of the Broncos. They have really handled the front wall of Buffalo when they have to.
1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Here's Humphrey, and he's taken down one-on-one by Bentley after a gain of 2 to the 12-yard line. Well, the Denver team, it's an interesting team. Again, it's almost as if they are not really, you don't want to use rebuilding. They are restructuring in a way, though. They're still building the team, obviously, around John Elway, as good as they get at his position. But they had to rethink the defense. In fact, Joe Collier, as we mentioned, after 20 years, some think he was the sacrificial lamb. Somebody had to go, and so it was Collier. In came Phillips. They need a running attack. And tonight playing brilliantly in all facets. 2nd and 8 from the 12. Elway. And he does that as well as anybody. Roll left and then throw, and hits Vance Johnson at the 9-yard line.
You know, really, that's the same play that Denver ran early in the first half, where Vance Johnson comes in motion across the backfield, does his little double clutch, goes back and forth, and then out into the flat. And Buffalo blew the coverage the last time.
This time they had the coverage, but still they picked up 3 or 4 yards.
Huge play for the Bills defensively right here.
You know what you sense about this Denver team, both offensively and defensively? They're playing with a lot more enthusiasm. The last time we saw them in a blowout against Indianapolis, what was it? Mid-season of a year ago, 55-12 or something like that.
Halloween night.
Last time like this, a corner blitz worked for Buffalo.
3rd and 4. And this time it's Johnson, but he's well short of the first down as Leonard Smith comes up to make the tackle. In comes the field goal unit to try to make it 21-0.
Talking with John Elway last night, he asked him about that. You go to the Super Bowl twice, you get blown away twice, and then you go 8-8. He said, what really happened? Was there a loss of enthusiasm? Did you lose belief in this ball club? He said, I think there was a little bit of that. We brought in a lot of new guys. We have players that haven't played together before. We have Plan B players. We have rookies playing, but we are playing with enthusiasm. And you can see that reflected tonight. They are.
David Treadwell, perfect tonight, perfect against Kansas City last week. 24-yard attempt. Kubiak is spotted at the 14-yard line. And Treadwell does it again. Well, if you're just tuning in, they've hardly gotten there with 3 touchdowns, but that's what the score is anyway, the equivalent of. It's 21-0 Denver.
In Vegas, that's 21 the hard way.
Yeah. 7 cards. 4 field goals, a touchdown, an extra point, and a safety. And it adds up to 21. 21-0 Denver. 7 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter.
All the ways you can score.
Yep. And Treadwell's kick will come down to the 10-yard line into the arms of Harmon. And down he goes at the 22-yard line. The tackle is made by Steve Atwater. Well, let's update you on the voting. You saw the great kickoff returns in the history of Monday Night Football at halftime, and most of you think that Joe Washington's run back was the best on the rain-slicked turf at the Foxborough.
What a great night that was. He ran back a kickoff. He threw for a touchdown pass. He caught a touchdown pass and counted for about 270 yards of offense. Well, if you want to contest that, get on the telephone.
On first down, the pass is high and out of bounds, intended for Burkett. You know, the crazy thing about that season, Washington that year had such a tremendous night. People think he scored a lot of touchdowns that season. He holds the NFL record for most carries in a year without scoring a touchdown. As Buffalo goes without a huddle on 2nd and 10, and that's dropped up at the 27-yard line by Andre Reed.
This is a situation where Jim Kelly now without a huddle calls his own plays. That time he took a break, looked over to the sideline for some advice, but in the final 2 drives against Miami, he called every single play.
3rd and 10, again without the huddle, and it's tipped, but there's a flag down. Tipped by Dennis Smith, but a marker down at the 40-yard line. And it goes against the Broncos.
Illegal contact, 36, defense, 5 yards, automatic first down.
Mark Haynes making his first appearance. He has been out most of the training camp, missed last week's game against Kansas City with a bad back, and here it is working against number 85, Burkett.
You're allowed that one shot inside that 5-yard zone. That contact between Burkett and Haynes happening well beyond the 5-yard mark as Alfonso Carricker walks off the field, hobbling a bit. But what a penalty that was against Denver. That was a 3rd down incompletion. Gives Buffalo a 1st down.
Warren Powers, rookie from Maryland, replaces Carricker. And here's Thomas breaking one into Bronco territory, brought down at the 32-yard line from behind by Atwater. But there's a flag down back at the line of scrimmage.
And this is coming back.
Yep, Kelly walking back with his head down, so you know they're going to bring it back.
Nobody within 30 yards of Kelly right now. He knows it's coming back to him. And so does Levy.
Boy, what a block by Will Wolford, the left tackle, as he pulls through the line and just buries a Bronco. It's not going to count, but it was something to see. What a shot.
Holding number 67, offense. 10 yards, 1st down.
Well, that's the center, Kent Hull, that gets flagged for the call, but Will Wolford, what a blow he gets. I want you to take a look at this. He's over here, the left tackle. Watch him come through and get a block that's going to clear Thomas. Take a look at this. He's going to turn upfield. And right here, boom! that is how a tackle gets downfield and stays on his feet, makes a hit, but all for naught.
1st and 20 now. Kelly up to the 29-yard line where Kenneth Davis makes the catch and pays the price. Plan B free agent, played at Green Bay. He was a high pick of the Packers 4 years ago out of TCU.
Kelly going without the huddle keeps Denver from changing up defensively, a la the Cincinnati Bengals and Sam White.
2nd down and 7 here. And the low throw, and the catch is made by Andre Reed up at the 40-yard line for a 1st down.
Boy, and that's some recovery. That's the type of a penalty after a long run by Thurman Thomas that can really break your back. And yet Buffalo comes back in just 2 plays and gets the 1st down again.
The fact that Buffalo's doing this will show you they more than respect this Denver defense that had throttled them in the 1st half. They've come out now going with this offense where they call the play right at the line of scrimmage, and Denver can't get their specialty people in on their defensive changes.
Well, the Broncos were across the line of scrimmage here now. I think the discussion is to see whether or not they were drawn across by a moving bill.
61, defense, 5 yards.
And the ruling is no. Andre Townsend came across on his own. Let's see, did anybody move in a blue? Oh, a little twitch by the center. Oh, now there's Kent Hull who got away with one. Boy, Kent Hull gave it a twitch, brought Townsend across, and no official saw it. That's one of the few things that's really gone against Denver all night.
Makes it 1st and 5 from the 45-yard line. And Kelly's pass into a lot of traffic. Flip Johnson surrounded by 4 white shirts. 2nd and 5.
Kelly had to get rid of it. The safety blitz was on with Denver, bringing their rookie Steve Atwater. Good blitzing safety, the rookie from Arkansas. Almost got to Kelly.
And despite the fact the clock has stopped on the incompletion, they still operate without the huddle, and it's incomplete up at the 50-yard line, and there's a marker down.
Well, Denver got caught with 12 men on the field. They didn't get a substitution done in time. They tried to substitute linemen, and Andre Townsend, who was trying to get off the field, didn't make it.
Yeah, that's what the way they're running their offense now, it prevents Denver from making those changes. This time they tried to do it, and they got caught in it.
Yep, they tried to substitute linemen, and Andre Townsend was still a good 3 yards from the side of the field when the ball was snapped. And even though his intent was to leave, he was still there.
Twelve men on the field. Defense, 5 yards. 1st down.
Funny, you think back to Buffalo, they were so concerned about the way the Bengals ran or were to run their offense in the championship game last year. And here are the Bills, and if you're just tuning in, this is not a 2-minute drill. This is a 20-minute drill. We have 5:07 to go in the 3rd period. And the catch is not made by Burkett, who drops it at the 45-yard line. It would have been a first down.
That's one of the few bat throws by Kelly. Burkett could have caught it, but it would have been a tough chance. Again, we'll take a quick look at it because the Bills once again going with the hurry-up offense.
Well, Burkett's expecting that ball back to the inside.
2nd and 10, and Harmon is open at the 27-yard line to make the catch.
Boy, and if he tagged, what a shot. Kip Corrington comes in and just levels Ronnie Harmon. I have no idea how he held onto the ball.
At the 27-yard line. Kelly has a wide open field in front of him. Inside the 10 and slides to the 7.
Yeah, this hurry-up offense has turned things around for the Bills. They're taking command of this. Denver making the mistakes now. And we're going to get the crowd back in, and that's not going to hurt the Bills.
By far, Buffalo's deepest penetration. After a 21-yard pickup, here's Thomas taking it all the way down to the 1-yard line. Atwater and Corrington in on the tackle. Under 4 minutes to play, third quarter, 21-0 Broncos, but the Bills with their longest, most sustained drive of the night, 2nd and goal at the 1.
Now the Bills, of course, will huddle up. They'll get their short yardage offense onto the field. That gives Denver a chance to bring their big people out.
I don't know that I'd have changed a thing.
Yeah. Kennebrew and Mueller are the backs, and this is Kennebrew walking into the end zone.
Kennebrew almost hurt himself on the spike.
He's having trouble staying on his feet.
Yeah.
Here's a guy who goes in for a score, doesn't get touched at all, and almost hurts himself trying to spike the ball. Larry, baby, it doesn't have to be that tough.
Larry Shuffle. He may have put the Bills back on their feet, though.
Let's take a look at it. Tremendous blocking on the left side of the line. A good lead block by Jamie Mueller. And here's Larry in the zone, and boy, this is when it really gets tough.
Norwood with Kidd holding. The kick is good, and so the crowd finally has reason to come alive.
Different ball game, different football team with the Bills. Dramatic change, not only in tactic, but in emotion and in every part of the game.
So the Buffalo Bills trying to scramble back into the game. Drive for a score to make it 21-7 Denver. Crowd very much back in it. Sold out Rick Stadium. Many on their feet as the Bills put it in the air. Scott Norwood to kick. And Kenny Bell and Bobby Humphrey back to receive for the Broncos. And it's a short kick fielded up at the 16 by Bell. And Bell runs it back out to the 35-yard line. Now, don't accuse us of false hype, but the guys that last year, early in the season, we saw the Denver Broncos leading in a game against the Raiders 24-0, and by the time it was all over, the Raiders had a victory.
It's been a case, though, every time in this game so far that Denver has had to move the football. They've been able to do it, and if Buffalo's going to get back into this game, now is the time for their defense to move it up a couple notches. They've got to create a big play.
Important here for the Buffalo defense to stop Denver. Get the ball back. Elway from the 35 will go right to the air. Flag is thrown. Pass is too high.
Well, you're going to get a holding call here against Denver, I believe.
Now,
Yeah.
Bruce Smith is telling everyone he was held. There he is.
Well, he had three guys trying to block him.
Somebody's got to hold.
This is called the price of fame, I believe. Talk about
Illegal hands, hands to the face, number 60, offense, 10 yards, first down.
Well, that's all coming in the same package. They're doing anything they can to keep Bruce Smith from Bering Elway. He's been in their backfield all night. They give him a shot through the head. They could have called holding too. What a force he is. And in the last series, this Buffalo defense looked as though they had finally come to life.
Again, the Bills 8-0 during the regular season, plus a playoff victory here over the Oilers. 1st and 20. 3:08 to go, 3rd quarter.
And Cornelius Bennett cheering the crowd on.
He's trying to quiet them down, actually. The referee...
He started going the other way.
You're right. You are right.
Yeah.
Andre Previn Jr., huh? Elway. Way out of bounds. And Mark Jackson wanted a flag and won't get one for holding.
Well, 80,000 were chanting defense, defense, and they got it. Elway had plenty of time, rolled out wide open. Good coverage downfield.
Well, watch the hit he takes from Darryl Talley. Right here, Talley had been running a good 20 yards when he hit Elway. And the Buffalo defense has clearly turned it up a notch or two. Now here's this hit at regular speed. Darryl Talley had been running for 20 yards, and he eased up at the last minute. He really cut Elway a break.
It's a good way to look at it in slow motion, then again a full speed, and it puts it back into perspective, because it looked like Talley could have pulled up when in fact he did pull up. He just couldn't pull up altogether.
Here comes the crowd warning.
Crowd noise doesn't cease. The defensive team is subject to forfeiture of one of their remaining timeouts.
Well, if it's ever going to work, it's going to work in Buffalo. These are decent, law-abiding citizens up here.
It's a good thing there are no beer sales here tonight. I mean, otherwise, how would you understand subject to forfeiture?
Well, that's a good point. This is going to be an excellent test.
Remember, both officials, both coaches, Marv Levy and Dan Reeves, are in favor of this rule.
Now, the key point here is the referee has not yet put his hand up in the air. He has not yet put his hand in the air.
2nd and 20. They get the play off, and it's Winder on the ground, and he runs right into the waiting arms of number 56, Darryl Talley.
Well, now it's going to bring up a 3rd and long, and now we'll really see it. But keep in mind with this rule that until the referee puts his hand straight up in the air, he's not in a position to throw the flag. He's not going to take a timeout away. So when you look at this, you got to look at what's happening, but you got to look at the referee at the same time.
And it's incumbent upon John Elway to run the play, or he could be penalized.
That will. There's Bob McElwee, our referee. See, he doesn't have that hand up yet.
3rd and 19 from the 26-yard line. Flag going deep for Sewell, and step for step with him on the coverage was Chris Hale, the rookie out of USC, but a marker at the line of scrimmage.
It'll be against Broncos again.
On the left tackle, no play.
Again, Bruce Smith, the intimidating force, is causing all kinds of problems.
But keep in mind, the Buffalo team's coming off. That's not the case. That's a false start. The play never happened. It's going to be 3rd down over again.
For illegal use of the hand, but there was no play.
Yeah, the false start means there's no play.
Offense, no play.
Buffalo defense better get back out on the field. That's a play that never happened on a false start. Now, Gerald Perry, see him rocking back in his stance. Now, that is a slow start. That's not a false start. That's a slow start.
Can I tell you how many offensive tackles around the league that have faced Bruce Smith understand that totally? You better be ready for this man.
Now, it's a double whammy on Gerald Perry because he's got illegal use of hands, too, up in the face.
So it's 3rd and 24 at the 21-yard line. Denver 2 out of 9 on 3rd down conversions, and Elway throws. The catch is made by Winder, and he's tackled at the 26-yard line.
And Bruce Smith looks like he's hurt. Boy, what a spin move he made. A great spin move to the inside to get past Gerald Perry. and then he got hurt hitting Elway. Watch this spin to the inside. Contact with Perry, and then the spin back to the inside. The rip with the right arm. And let's see how he gets hurt. Well, he lands hard on his side. Pretty tough for a defensive end to admit he got hurt in a collision with a quarterback.
That's a 280-pound man spinning out there like a halfback or a wide receiver.
Oh, what a brilliant move. Brilliant.
You saw him trying to mouth, "I'm okay." We'll find out. Horan to punt. Errol Tucker back to receive. Tucker stands in his own 30-yard line. The snapper is Keith Bishop. 1:40 to go in the third. High, not very deep kick, and a fair catch called for and made at the 34-yard line by Tucker. 39-yard boot.
You know, this will go down. The Gerald Perry got beat on this move, but this is a move that beats just about any offensive tackle in the league. 1 minute you're blocking 290 pounds, the next minute you're blocking air. And Bruce Smith showing why he is clearly the AFC's greatest defensive lineman. And it is just an ongoing battle between he and Reggie White. Who's the king of the hill?
And that Buffalo offensive team came out onto the field, into the huddle, up to the line of scrimmage before Denver defense was even set. They're ready to play.
1st and 10 from the 34-yard line, and there's a flag. Biggest number 24, Wyman Henderson, was wrapped around Andre Reed.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Defensive pass interference, 24, first down.
Yeah, I mean, it's just man-to-man coverage all the way with Henderson. He's locked up on Reed. There's Reed's break back to the inside, and can't come over the top like that.
And again, the Bills are right up to the line of scrimmage. They're ready to go once again.
Darn right, I'd stay that way the rest of the game.
I think we'll see it.
1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. Kelly finds the open man, and it's Flip Johnson for a first down at the Bronco 46-yard line. Tyrone Braxton makes the tackle.
I'll tell you something the Bills are going to get called for if they don't watch out is how far their offensive line is off the ball. That time, Howard Ballard was a yard off the ball. Look where he's lined up. You're supposed to be within a foot of the football.
Right tackle, number 75. And the catch is made at the 36-yard line. Andre Reed making the catch, about 5 yards short of the first.
If our friend Sam Weiss is watching this game, he has to be saying, well, it's taken you guys a long time to figure out what I've known for years.
Boomer is sitting back smiling.
Well, I don't know. I think they kind of enjoyed their little private gig they had going. But look at Ballard. This guy's a yard and a half off the ball.
The 9-yard gain, 2nd and 1, and Kelly going for 6, and it's incomplete, intended for Reed. And Henderson back there with him.
Now in the long pass, Denver will be able to make a change, although they only bring in one man. But it's kind of strange to watch Buffalo doing this with Ted Marchibrodo, the offensive coordinator, and, of course, Marv Levy, known as conservative coaches. Well, they should be. They tutored under George Allen, he was a very conservative offensive coach, and they were both with him at the Rams and later the Washington Redskins. He believed in don't turn it over yourself, don't hurt yourself, and great defense, and that's what Buffalo has been up until tonight.
Kennebrew and Mueller, the two studs in the backfield, back of Kelly, and this is Mueller fighting for the first down and getting it inside the 35-yard line. Kennebrew at about 260 and Mueller at about 230 behind Kelly that time.
Well, on Kennebrew's touchdown, it was Mueller with the lead block. This time it's Kennebrew attempting the lead block. Mecklenburg left his feet a little early.
That is a full house backfield. On 1st and 10 from the 34, it is almost intercepted by Randy Robbins.
The attempt to Ronnie Harmon, who was playing out of the wide receiver spot, and a pass that Kelly should not have thrown.
Well, you know what? He got hit right when he delivered the ball. Warren Powers, number 91, came in. Boy, did he hit Kelly, and I don't know if he caught him right in the act of throwing, but I think it had a lot to do with the poor pass.
2nd and 10. Kelly, wide open field again, but he's caught from behind by the speedy Steve Atwater. And Kelly comes away limping. As the period comes to a climax, And that will be the final play of the third quarter.
And that's a break for Buffalo, that this is the end of the quarter. Going to give Kelly a chance to rest.
Bills get back in it after 3. The Broncos lead it 21-7 and will return to Monday Night Football after this message from our ABC station.
Kelly will need a lot of ice bags in the morning. He's hurting all over.
30th year in professional football. Largest deficit that they've overcome, 21-0. 2 years ago at Miami, won in an OT. Here, they were down 21-0. It is now 21-7. We start the fourth period. It is 3rd down and 3 for the Bills. Seeking the first down. They've got it at the 19-yard line. Burkett makes the catch. He's tackled by Braxton.
And the magic all started when Buffalo went to a no-huddle offense.
Magic might have started at halftime when there was a lot of chewing going on in that locker room.
Yeah, but it's now my 11 against your 11.
That was Burkett's first catch of the night on 1st and 10 from the 20. Kelly going for Harmon in the end zone. Touchdown.
And Jim Kelly somehow makes it all the way down to the end zone to congratulate Ronnie Harmon. Jim Kelly tonight thinking he's more in a tough man contest than he is in a football game. Bad leg, bad shoulder. Still gets it to Ronnie Harmon in the end zone, Frank, with a perfectly thrown ball.
Harmon working as a wide receiver, and Kelly with a perfectly thrown ball right over Randy Robbins.
Oh, that's nice. Nice stuff.
Norwood for the extra point. Kidd is the holder. And Buffalo is within 7. In fact, they have out-touchdown Denver 2-1. But the Broncos still lead by 7.
Ronnie Harmon, a former starting setback, moved out to the flanker on this one, and that ball was absolutely perfectly thrown. Great effort by Kelly and Harmon.
21-14 Broncos. As we come back, 14:33 to go. Ronnie Harmon catching a touchdown pass from Jim Kelly. Norwood to kick off. Bobby Humphrey back up. Kenny Bell from the 4-yard line.
Whoa.
Now past the 20, spun down, flag down at the 25-yard line.
Well, everything earlier that went Denver's way now appears to, the monkey has jumped back because now everything is going against Denver. As they'll now start from closer to their end zone than any place else.
It's a different football team, this Buffalo Bills, than the one we watched in the first half. In every way.
Holding number 59 on the return. 10 yards. 1st and 10.
Tim Lucas.
Again, that touchdown pass, Kelly to Ronnie Harmon. And when you think about it, well, maybe 13 weeks from now, this could be the difference. Maybe to going into the playoffs, maybe all the way to a Super Bowl. And the Bills would have had to settle for a field goal attempt or going on 4th down had they not had that perfect pass. And we all understand this one.
I guess they're talking about that inch of snow that Denver had earlier this week, huh?
Oh, yeah. And your frozen Gatorade.
There's Winder for a gain of 3 up to the 17. He stopped by Darryl Talley. Well, think about it. Yesterday, the Eagles trailed 20-0 and beat Washington. The Packers trailed 24-7 and beat New Orleans. The Falcons trailed 21-10 and beat Dallas. And the Giants trailed 14-3 and beat Detroit. And here are the Bills, who trailed 21-0, and then last week, the stunning comeback miracle win against Miami, trying to do it again. Second and 6 out of the 18. Bratton in motion, in around Mark Jackson. And he picks up the first down, taking it out to the 25-yard line where he's tackled by Leonard Smith.
Darryl Talley is the linebacker to that side. You would think that it would be his responsibility to watch for that reverse coming around. He got pinned back to the inside along with Bruce Smith.
Good call, Dan. When you got a team that's fired up, and as this Buffalo defense is now, you come with some kind of a reverse, a screen pass, and take advantage of them overplaying it.
Certainly a gutsy call. A big loss on a reverse like that would have sent this place into pandemonium.
Alexander and Winder are the running backs, and Alexander still trying to find out what the play is. At the 25-yard line, here's Winder. To the outside goes Sammy. And he takes it out to the 33-yard line for a gain of about 7.
Nice job staying behind Keith Bishop. Nice block by Keith Bishop downfield to spring Winder for that first down.
Next week, Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati will be the site. The Bengals are 1-1, and the Browns under Bud Carson with 89 points in 2 games. Beat the Jets yesterday. Routed Pittsburgh in the opener.
Just think, had he been an offensive coach.
Yeah, right. 2nd and 3 with Jackson in motion. And here's Winder again, and he picks up the first down as he takes it out to the 39-yard line. He's tackled by Darryl Talley, and we have 12 minutes to go.
Hey, this is tough moving on the part of Denver. They're showing a little something right here. They're taking on a team that's really fired up, and their linemen are blowing out. They're doing it on the ground, and they're moving the clock along, and they've picked up their 2nd consecutive first down on a very important series.
Well, they're doing what they've been doing a lot tonight, and that's controlling the line of scrimmage. This has been just an outstanding performance by the Broncos front wall.
1st and 10 from the 38. Sammy Winder to the 42. You know, in a way, Winder on this drive, this is like his career. Unspectacular, but very steady. We mentioned before, again, he's never averaged 4 yards a carry, and yet here he is, and they just can't dislodge him from the starting lineup.
Got a player shaken up down on the field. That's one of the Buffalo Bills. This is not the time to speculate. I can see it starts with a number 5. It's either Conlon or Bentley, one or the other, I would think. It would be silly for us to speculate until we're sure. I think it's Shane Conlon. Yeah, there it's a 5 and the 8. That's Shane Conlon, their Pro Bowl ball player down on the field. That's Keith Bishop, the guard, coming around.
Oh, I don't even want to see it.
No, there is a damaged left knee, and we will have to wait and see how badly it's hurt.
Clarence Kay coming down from the tight end position, and Conlon never even saw him.
It's foolish for us to play doctor, folks, but I played the game 13 years. Frank, you played a long time.
I said I didn't want to see it.
I never saw a guy's knee flex that much that wasn't out for quite a while. I mean, he's either got the loosest knee ligaments I've ever seen. That was a severe blow to his left knee. But he's putting weight on it. Incredibly, he's walking off by putting weight on his knees, on his left foot as he walks off. What a shot Shane Conlon just took. We can only hope it's not as bad as it looks.
I was going to say, you have to hope that the fact that he is walking off is indicative that it may not be as severely injured as it appeared it should have been.
And you'll forgive us, those of you out there that have a morbid sense of curiosity, but I doubt we'll show that to you again.
Scott Radisek, number 97, takes Conlon's spot with less than 11 minutes now to go on 2nd and 6 from the 42-yard line. Jackson in motion. Elway, and it's picked off at the 27-yard line by Mark Kelso.
The Bills get the interception. The Broncos could have had a touchdown. Kay was wide open, no one within 20 yards of him. Elway never saw him.
And there's the man who really forced the issue, Bruce Smith.
And Mark Kelso had 7 interceptions a year ago. Scoops this one up. He had to work to keep this one off the turf, but there's Bruce Smith in there again, pressuring John Elway into forcing that ball downfield a little before he wanted to throw it, and John got nothing on this ball. This ball just sailed off his fingers, and look at Kelso keep that ball off the turf.
Now the Bills beginning from the 30, out of the shotgun. Kelly, a little dump pass over the middle, juggles, and the catch was never made. Incomplete. Intended for Thomas, second down.
Bills again will not huddle. And again, this will keep a defensive change, keeps the specialists off the field for the Broncos. The Bills know the personnel that's out there. They know what will go against it.
Kelly stepping up again, and this time wrapped up at the 28-yard line by Andre Townsend and Warren Powers.
Good question here. Powers, 91 on his back, 91 on one sleeve, 91 on the front. The sleeve on the far side has number 19 on it.
That's 4 innings in short yardage at the end of the line.
3rd and 11. Inside handoff out of the shotgun to Thomas. Thomas has the first down and is spun out of bounds at the 47-yard line by Braxton.
Oh, great call. Great call. Out of the shotgun formation, just coming across. Little underneath handoff. Everybody on the Denver side of it's playing pass. And Thurman Thomas gets a chance to make up for dropping the ball on first down. Gutsy call by Marv Levy and/or Jim Kelly, whoever made it.
First and 10 at the 46-yard line. Reed, first down at the Denver 41.
Any resemblance of the Buffalo Bills offense to the first half, purely coincidental. Tactically, they're totally different, emotionally, in every way. They are controlling this game now.
Went to the hurry-up offense halfway through the 3rd quarter to pull to within 7. On the move again. Kelly on first down, and Kelly goes down at the 47-yard line, starting to slip, and the sack is finally recorded by Simon Fletcher.
That's a key for Denver if they can force Jim Kelly to move. Jim Kelly is not one of the great move quarterbacks in the game today. He bears no resemblance to John Elway in that respect, and it's a victory for Denver if they can get Kelly to move.
2nd down and 16. And the catch made by number 23, Kenneth Davis, and there's a flag down at the 35-yard line.
And if this is a defensive holding, what a crushing penalty.
It is.
Oh, wow. Wyman Henderson is the exercised Denver Bronco defensive back, protesting to no avail.
2nd and 16, and a defensive holding call. If it stands, is a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Holding, 24 defense, 5 yards, automatic first down.
Oh, what a crushing blow for the Broncos. Wyman Henderson, number 24, working against Andre Reed. And that's holding. He just wraps him up. I mean, that's just
next to tackling.
That's so blatant. I don't know. Dan Reeves can't possibly be yelling at the official. He has to be venting a little frustration Wyman Henderson's way.
First down from the 42-yard line. Kelly. And it's dropped at the 5 by Harmon.
Oh, did Braxton touch that? Boy, Braxton was awful close.
He's acting like he did. It was very close.
It's close. I mean, a desperation dive by Braxton, but I think he came a little short of the ball. I think that's a drop by Andre Reed. Okay, Ronnie Harmon. We'll take a look at it after this play.
We're back
sure.
live here, and that pass is incomplete, intended for Davis.
Let's go back and look at it again. Here's Braxton going to dive for it, and he came short. No, Ronnie Harmon had that ball right in his hands. Ooh, and Braxton's already on the ground. That's a touchdown Buffalo if he holds on to it.
It wasn't last week against Miami. It was Andre Reed who dropped a sure touchdown pass from Kelly. 2 sure-handed receivers.
So now it's 3rd and 10 from the 42-yard line. Kelly.
This is where Jim
Kelly
Kelly
up at his own 45 by Warren Powers.
Yeah, that's where Kelly doesn't make the same kind of decision that John Elway can make.
Broncos and a safety blitz. It paid off again as Steve Atwater from Arkansas, their rookie first-round draft pick, who has looked like an all-pro for them. Let's pick him up, number 27. He's big. Keep that in mind, 6'3", 217. All the pursuit, chases Kelly out of the pocket, and sooner or later you're going to run into someone back there, particularly if you're a Kelly.
John Kidd will try to pin Denver deep. A very high kick. Kenny Bell fair catches it at the 14-yard line. And the Broncos take over at that spot with 9:13 to go. 21-14 for Broncos. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Dierdorf in Buffalo, where the Denver Broncos have the lead 21-14 and have the ball at their own 14-yard line with 9:13 to play in the fourth period. Goodyear Blimp looking down into jam-packed Rich Stadium, and nobody's left. Sold out. 80,000 plus looking on tonight from the 14-yard line. The Broncos with Elway. Handing the ball to Winder. And Winder stepping out of bounds at the 15. Update you on baseball now. Big one in the National League at Wrigley Field. Among other things, Mitch Williams, the relief pitcher, hits a home run. Cubs beat the Mets. Pirates win. Cardinals beat Montreal, and the Cubs still lead the Cardinals by 5. Mets are now 6.5 games back. In the American League, Oakland, after the lost weekend in Boston, rebounds to beat Cleveland. Toronto loses. Kansas City loses, and the Angels win. Baltimore off tonight. Picks up a half game. They're back by 2 in the East. And Elway here is going to take a timeout.
Buffalo has had to make an adjustment because of the knee injury to Shane Conlon. Scott Radisek is now playing inside. He's had experience playing on the inside when something has either happened to Bentley or Conlon before. So Scott Radisek has had to replace Shane Conlon on the inside.
That time it was Melvin Bratton, the celebrated rookie from Miami, who's in the offensive backfield now for the Denver Broncos, who obviously had gone in motion the wrong way. Elway took one look at him, looked at the 30-second clock. He knew he was never going to get it straightened out, so he had to use a timeout.
Marv Levy just went over the bench to pat Shane Conlon on the head and say, we're going to try to win this thing without you. But what a loss to the Buffalo Bills, even in the latter stages of this ball game. If this guy is lost to them for any period of time, it's going to be a tough blow to them. Took a terrible shot to the left knee. Just a brutal shot.
One of the best around. He was a good one on the outside, and when Bennett arrived at Buffalo, he moved inside and became all-pro there.
2nd and 9 from the 15-yard line. Winder back at the 11. He is tackled by Ray Bentley and Leon Shields. Elway tonight, first half 50%, second half 50%, but a little difference in the yardage.
Of course, the time of possession has been predominantly the Buffalo Bills. Tough right now for Elway. He can plan on somebody visiting him in the backfield. I know this Bills are going to put their ears back and really let it fly.
3rd down, 12.
Corner blitz again. Comes Burrows.
Elway throws, and he finds the open man, and it's Johnson, and a big, big, big first down out at the 38-yard line.
I'll tell you, John Elway is a little bit of everything.
We got a Bill hurt, Frank, back
Bill
at
is
the
hurt
3-yard line.
For Elway just to get that off. It was Derek Burrows, you pointed out, Dan. It was a corner blitz, and Burrows was one of them. He got inside, and Elway spun to the outside. He came out to get Elway, but John Elway knows right here. He looks back inside. He knows he's going to get just hammered when he releases this ball. But his full concentration is on Vance Johnson. Now, he's an athlete with a great arm, but also he's a pretty gutsy guy, too.
You can see Burrows actually was shaken up when he got hit by his own teammate, Leonard Smith. John Elway talking to Walt Corey, the defensive coordinator of the Bills before the game. We were talking about the things that Elway does. And Corey brought up this point, which people have known for a long time. And there again, you see Burrows take that shot from Smith. Nobody has ever been able to run to their left, being a right-handed quarterback, and set and throw the ball as well as this guy. And there was just a beautiful illustration of it right there. Moving to his left, everything is out of sync, mechanics-wise, with your body, and yet Elway could throw with that kind of accuracy and velocity, Al.
And not hurt himself, too, because it was on that kind of play that Joe Montana had to undergo back surgery.
Yeah, you're right. Great point.
Not many can run to the right and throw you like he can.
From the 38-yard line after a 26-yard pickup on 3rd and 12. Through the middle goes Bobby Humphrey, and there's a marker down at the line of scrimmage. Some movement.
There was a Bill who encroached and then tried to get back, and he might have got picked off.
Yeah, I think it was Fred Smirlis was across the line at the snap. A lot of Pro Bowls on this Buffalo defensive line. There you saw Fred. He was across the line. Between Art Still, Fred Smirlis, Bruce Smith, and multi-talented group.
Offside, defense, penalty decline, first down.
Bennett and Conlon both went to the Pro Bowl as linebackers for the Bills last year also.
And Frank used the word gutsy a little while ago to talk about Denver and the way they've come back and controlled the ball when they had to, and here they are doing it again.
Well, if you're Danny Reeves, you've got to like this. They were getting kicked around, and they pulled it back together again.
8 minutes to play. Denver up by 7. First down from the 50. Humphrey gains 6. Leon Shields makes the tackle.
Many different names on this Denver Bronco team. Names that we have become so used to being familiar with. The 2 Super Bowl teams. And now you have Humphrey, of course, a great name out of collegiate football, but Alexander, Bratton.
You know, I made the comment at the start of the game that, you know, if you pooled the talent of these 2 teams, that only about a half a dozen Broncos would end up starting on a combined all-star team. I still feel that way, but, boy, they're certainly not playing that way tonight. If anything, it looks like it ought to be the other way around.
2nd and 4 from the 44.
I guess that's what makes this game a little fun, huh?
Wouldn't be worth it otherwise. Sammy Winder. You know, it's funny, too, because, I mean, the Broncos coming in here really singing the blues, figuring, as you say, that they can't match up talent-wise. They can't play on Monday night on the road. They can't play on artificial turf. All of these problems, and here they are on top by 7.
There's no way they're going to be able to run the ball against Buffalo. The only way they're going to win it is if John Elway has a fantastic night.
Right.
And yet, what's happening? They're really moving the ball quite effectively on the ground against Buffalo.
They didn't know all that stuff.
3rd down and a long yard. And Winder gets the first down, taking it to the 35-yard line, stopped there by Leonard Smith. So the drive staying alive on that big 3rd and 12 pass to Vance Johnson. And the Broncos have moved it down to the 35, not only moving it, but moving that clock. 6:10 to go.
Danny Reeves calling the plays into John Elway from the sideline.
Take a look at Fred Smirlis right here. I want you to watch Karts and Keith Bishop and watch what they do in the middle here. There's Smirlis. They go into number 97. And take a look at where they put Radisak. I mean, they put Radisak all the way back 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. Ooh. These guys are playing.
Humphrey, hello. Radisak. Scott Radisak, number 97.
Well, I guess he heard us.
He must be carrying a transistor down there, Dan.
Well, that's the way you come back and make up for it. Walt Corey, the defensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills, former coach with the Kansas City Chiefs, there with Hank Stram for a long time.
Whatever they've got, if they haven't shown at this point, you're going to see it. 2nd down, long yardage, good. Time for the blitz. They like to blitz out of this. They have to keep in mind they're blitzing John Elway. He'll slip it, roll out, and get the completion no matter what.
2nd and 11 with Jackson in motion. Elway scrambling. A lot of room now. And the first down. And still inbounds. And Elway to the 5-yard line. And how in the world do you defend that?
That's in their playbook.
A man of moderate athletic ability, wouldn't you say?
Is that vintage Elway? Here comes the blitz. You knew it was going to come. It's a great down to do it. They bring the safety blitz. No receiver open. Step back into the pocket. Now it just becomes pure great athleticism.
Well, Talley missed him upstairs. Bentley missed him upstairs. Derek Burrows. Everybody in on this thing. And John Elway, not taking the easy way out, stays in bounds and gets it all the way down right at the 5-yard line.
31-yard gain. Humphrey, touchdown, Denver.
You've got to admire this Denver team. That they were taken apart in the third quarter. Looked as though they were going to fold up. They put it back together defensively and offensively. They have also got it back together, and we've just been told that's the longest run of Elway's career in regular season play, and you won't see many better ones.
Look at this control up front by the Bronco offensive line. I mean, they just eradicated the Bills' defensive front. If I'm Dan Reeves and I start handing out game balls, I carry obviously one into that room with John Elway's name on it. But the next 5 get handed out to those 5 guys across the front. Perry, Bishop, Karts, DeRiga, and Lanier. They have really played a ball game tonight.
Treadwell's extra point is good. Elway leads them 86 yards when he had to. 31-yard run. Humphrey moves over from the 5, and the Broncos now lead 28-14.
What a ball player he is.
You run out of superlatives, don't you?
Yeah.
What was the bigger play of the game? Gary Kubiak in the first half controlling the low snap on an extra point, or John Elway in that scramble?
John Elway on 3rd and 12 hitting Vance Johnson. From the 12-yard line, Ronnie Harmon takes it out to the 29-yard line.
This is one of those things, just watch it and enjoy it.
You know, a little music to put under this?
Yeah.
What would it be? A little, something classical. A little
Whatever it was, it would have to be regal.
What's that? That's a defensive back that missed.
It would be music for royalty. Music for royalty, because that's what number 7 is.
Kelly on first down, a little dump off to Harmon. There's plenty of blocking, but Harmon starts to slip and is taken down at the 32-yard line. Corrington making the tackle. 3.5 to go. Bills have all of their timeouts remaining.
This is where somebody for Buffalo needs to make a big play. They need to break a couple of tackles.
3-man rush, 2nd and 6. And Kelly will run out of bounds for a first down up at the 45-yard line with 3:14.
You have that much, you have that much time, and obviously Denver is laying off in a deep zone to prevent defense. So you should take advantage with this much time remaining of the over-the-middle stuff.
Well, Frank's Trojans will be hosting Ohio State in our day part of the doubleheader. College football this Saturday. Kelly first down hits Thurman Thomas at the 47 of Denver. And then primetime college football on Saturday as well, where Dan's Wolverines, and there's your man, Bo, taking on the Bruins of UCLA.
A couple of Big Ten, Pac-10 matchups there, huh?
I think they've worked on their special teams.
The big boys on the big boys.
Oh, you think so?
I'd like to be a member of the Michigan kickoff coverage team. How many live kickoffs do you figure they'll cover this week?
I'll be transferring to LSU.
And meanwhile, Buffalo is moving right along.
First down on the catch by Andre Reed from the 36-yard line.
See, this is what they'll give you, and you've got to take it because you still have enough time to do it.
And Reed makes another catch at the 26-yard line. That is close to a first down, and in fact is at the 25.
Don't file this one away yet.
Nope. Again, 3-man rush. Kelly being pursued. Kelly throwing and picked off at the 7-yard line by Wyman Henderson. And that will wrap it up for the Broncos.
Well, that's the difference between a Jim Kelly and a John Elway. That's a pass that Jim, I think, underestimated the coverage by Denver. They had short coverage on his receiver. They had him deep. And it's easy for us to say that Jim Kelly would have been better served to launch that one up into the stands. But he knows it. Denver had this defense. You see there's Henderson working underneath. Another Bronco back deep.
And Henderson played that well. He kept track of his receiver, and once he looked up and saw the receiver was looking for the ball, that's when he looked for the ball.
Well, and he didn't have the pressure of having to cover the receiver man on man because he had the coverage back deep. So he's allowed to just play soft and read the quarterback.
From the 32, this will take us to the 2-minute warning. In essence, a free timeout for Buffalo with their full complement remaining, and they'll have to take them on defense. And Winder takes it out to the 36-yard line. So there's your 2-minute warning, and there's also a marker as well. And on this early Tuesday morning at about 25 past midnight, they begin to file out of Rich Stadium. And that'll be a first down.
A very stunned crowd it is that's filing out.
Well, they haven't seen the Bills lose here since 1987. 1:59 to play, and the Broncos have a 2-touchdown cushion.
Hope they don't halftime solicitation of your choice as to who offered the best kickoff return on Monday Night Football.
Joe Washington, the mayor of kickoff returns.
Well, I think the weather was clearly in his favor tonight. Looking at that soaked field.
Here with 1:59 to go, Sammy Winder takes it out to the 45-yard line, and Buffalo will have to take a timeout. Again, they have 3 timeouts. Well, left a ticket for Kathy Lee. What about Junior?
Well, they should have left a ticket and a half.
You're right.
At what age?
Or a ticket and a third.
At what age do you have to start paying for an extra ticket?
Andre Reed, he's at another fine night. Tied the club record.
Set by Greg Bell, who, of course, went to the Rams through Indianapolis in that Dickerson deal. The deal that appears to have helped everybody. There's nobody complaining. Rams love it with all of their draft choices. Indianapolis obviously happy with Dickerson. And Cornelius Bennett coming over here.
You know, more than anything, I think Danny Reeves has to be happy with the way his team came back after that third quarter. Now, you mentioned at halftime, or right after halftime, Al, that we saw them down 24-0 to the Raiders a year ago, and they folded up and lost that game, and this was a situation very similar. They just pulled it back together again and have played superb football.
Well, the one thing about tonight, I don't think you draw any conclusions that Buffalo is any less of a team than we thought they were, but boy, I think Denver is the team that really came out of tonight, maybe finding something out about themselves.
Definitely.
I mean, last year at times they appeared to be a very listless, lifeless team, and they have been anything but so far here early in 1989. Good-looking ball club that has played with a great deal of spirit, and that man right there, I think, gets a ton of credit.
Denver and Cleveland will be the only unbeaten teams in the AFC. And we tell you the executive producer of Monday Night Football is Jeffrey Mason. And Monday Night Football produced by the Wolfman, Ken Wolf, directed by Craig Janoff, our technical director, Joe Schabo, associate director, Ben Harvey, Rob Biner, halftime associate producer, and our assistants to the producer, Jeff Kibler and Rick Abbott. Steve Hurd, our director of information, and up in the booth, George Hill with the stats. Malibu Kelly Hayes, our illustrious spotter.
Marv Levy, you said it wouldn't be any less a team, but when you think of a team, as I think you and I both agree, Dan, it's going to be a team that's going to be without Shane Conlon for some time, and when you play without a Shane Conlon, your defense is going to suffer. We just hope it's not too bad and it's not too long.
2nd and 9 as Sammy Winder moves to the outside and is taken down, and now the Bills can use their final timeout. Our operations managers, Arthur Badegi and Tony Versley and Dennis Zabo. Telecommunications manager, Lee Kalinsky. Halftime assistant to the producer, Susan Heffernan. Well, next week, it's on to Cincinnati. Was you ever in Cincinnati?
I have been in Cincinnati many times. What are you talking about, a kid from Ohio? How have I never been in Cincinnati?
I'm going out a little early. It's been a little time. It's Reggie Williams. He's getting himself pulled back together again. It's been a tough going for him in the early part of the year. The appendectomy now after the knee arthroscope.
You're going to spend quality time with Reggie?
Quality time.
How early are you going?
Well, what time's the late plane here? It's a tough campaign for Reggie out there.
Airport's closed here.
City might close after tonight.
This is, again, I just want to put in a plug for Buffalo. Had a fun time here. Great football town. We will be back.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh. 3rd down and 12 from the 44.
I like it here. I don't care what you guys say.
4th down. I was walking down the street today. Honest to goodness, the 2 policemen are standing there. Cop, he's laughing. He says, "Hey, Al, be good to us, or I'm gonna arrest you." I said, "Hey, come on." I said, "I got Deerdorf out there to protect me." He said, "He's already in jail."
I have been much maligned.
I think overall that they have looked on it with amusement. It's a proud city. This is a city that has struggled back over the last decade from a lot of economic problems, and you see new buildings going up all over the place. Fun people. I've sat around downtown, had a couple of hot dogs at the city square, Washington Square.
How about that ballpark?
Brought around.
How about, what is it, Pilot Field?
Pilot Field, yeah. Minor league Bisons. They've drawn over $1 million 2 years in a row.
Is that not a classic, though? Right in the middle of the city, where it belongs.
Fabulous. Look, I'd not seen it till we were here this weekend, and it can be expanded to about 40,000. Buffalo hopeful of getting Major League Baseball someday.
I'm sure the Buffalo Chamber of Commerce will appreciate our saving our comments until we had our largest audience of the evening.
Yeah, but think of it this way. It's 9:30 on the Pacific Coast, so we're still in prime time.
As long as you're not doing local news.
Denver just got penalized for delay of game back to the 42-yard line as they run out the string. Buffalo is out of timeouts. Denver will kick it. And Rich Stadium has pretty much emptied out. What do we got here?
Buffalo wings. What do you think we got?
Oh.
You know, if I hadn't watched the Washington-Philadelphia game yesterday, I would say there should be some sort of a way you could concede a game at this point.
Right.
I'd like to concede my diet to about 2 bowls of those wings.
Moran's kick is a beauty, fielded by Flip Johnson back at the 5, and he is dropped at the 12-yard line with a little more than a half a minute to play. 53-yard kick by Horan.
Bills next Sunday are going to be at Houston. That's not going to be an easy trip for them. We're going to see them again in about 4 weeks. We'll watch them against the Rams from here. We're also going to see the Bills in Seattle in early December.
And we may see some history here if we see Frank Reich throw the ball. Because no one other than that man has thrown a pass during a regular season game for the Buffalo Bills since when? 1986?
Right.
And if he doesn't throw it, the remaining crowd's going to lynch him.
Outside of the strike games in 87. Ball is at the 12-yard line. And Reich, the one-time Maryland Terrapin, puts it up and lofts it to Kenneth Davis. And the former Packer gets taken down at the 25-yard line. And again, Buffalo cannot stop the clock.
Reich got to quit right now. He's a perfect 1,000.
So Denver will be on top in the AFC West. They will host the LA Raiders at Mile High. And Buffalo 1-1. Only Cleveland and Denver unbeaten in the AFC. There are 6 NFC teams that are unbeaten. Here's Davis. And the game will end on this play, which will look good on the stat sheet for Kenneth Davis and Frank Reich. Now he really ought to quit. John Elway.
Final score, Denver 28.
Had it when he needed it.
Gets a hug there from
Pat Bowlen with him.
Owner of
Smile on
the
his face.
Broncos. And it'll be a happy flight home for Denver after victories against Kansas City and Buffalo. And so Denver, for only the 2nd time in the history of this package, wins on the road on a Monday night. And Buffalo loses its first home game since 1987. Again, the final score is Denver 28 and Buffalo 14. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf saying good night from Rick Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, with a reminder.
Winning the toss and will